Welcome back, ladies, to Season 2, Episode 3 of the Sport Together podcast, Fill Your Cup Up. On my right, I've got Mrs. Una Leonard.
Hi, everyone.
On my left, I've got wee Jim Cassidy.
Hello.
And I am your host, Mrs. O. So, you're very welcome here today, girls. How's getting on?
Getting on grand. We've had our cuppa in us and chocolate. And
How did you get over all that snow?
yeah, we got over it.
Right, I hibernated for a wee while.
It was good, wasn't it?
And a few storms as well. And there's probably much more coming.
Lovely.
So they tell us anyway. So
Jeez, I lost a tree last night. Funny whenever you're...
You lost a tree?
I lost a tree. It uprooted itself.
In your garden?
Uh-huh.
Did it touch the house?
My mother's favourite tree. Every time she comes to visit, it's the tree that she looks out and just goes, ah.
Oh,
Gemma,
Gemma,
I know.
Florence.
Uh-huh.
Can
we
you
never even got
replant
talking
it?
this morning. You
I
see,
know,
you were
right?
that busy.
Just when you're talking about the storm,
Can you replant it, or is she going like
sure if you did, then it ended up dying anyway. So I think that's the goal.
R.I.P. tree?
I know.
Oh, all right.
Aw.
Tree is right.
That's very sad.
Isn't it?
Anybody out there want to donate a wee tree to Gemma for her mummy? All donations welcome. So today we are going to talk about intrusive thoughts.
You shouldn't be laughing at that now.
So today we're going to talk about intrusive thoughts in motherhood. Now, ladies, this is something that we hear a lot of within Support Together from our members.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put it out there to our listeners today that this may be a stressor. But please bear with it, because we're hoping that our episode today is going to help you. Going to help you understand it, and possibly for wives for these intrusive thoughts. And we always say, help me to understand so I can be understood. So that's what we're going to go with today. So if I say intrusive thoughts, some people might think, what is intrusive thoughts? But what we believe and what we take it for ourselves is they're unwanted, intrusive thoughts are really common after we have a baby, especially in the early motherhood when our threat system is on high alert. And it really is on high alert.
Been there.
Yeah.
We've been there. Like, your antennaes up and you're on cue, ready to go. As you say, yes, aye, Captain. As soon as the baby cries, that's you out.
Yeah.
So adapting to such huge responsibility is obviously hugely terrifying. So it's not surprising that research shows 90% of new mothers, 90% ladies, suffer from some form of intrusive thoughts. I know I have had intrusive thoughts whenever my children were tiny babies, and there's like most days there's a thought of some sort, and it's a thought that comes and it goes. So today we're going to talk about them, we're going to discuss them, but it's going to be a heavy subject, but we're going to try and keep it light.
Well, I think first and foremost it's important for us to discuss this, because there is a stigma that we would hold upon ourselves as women, as mothers, and no doubt fathers go through this as well. And as you know, and something that I definitely had a lot of. I remember a massive intrusive thought was holding Caitlin at the top of the stairs and thinking, imagine I throw her down the stairs. Imagine she falls down the stairs. And then I go to myself, what the hell are you thinking that for now? Oh my God, you're such a bad mummy, thinking that you're going to throw your child, or your child's going to fall down the stairs. And then I'd go, gee, because I can't tell anybody this. Because
does that mean I want to throw her down the stairs?
Does that mean am I a bad mom? If anybody heard that there, they'd be thinking I'm terrible.
Shame and the guilt then with that.
Oh my word.
There
And then
comes a
it
big
never
stick.
stopped. Then it was another, checking if she was sleeping at night, going checking if she was breathing. Imagine she's not breathing. Imagine, oh my God, and then going checking again. That it became really unbelievable. It wore me down.
Totally consumed you.
Totally and utterly consumed me. Now, I could have Stanton waiting to cross the road at work, right? And a lorry is driving past. And I could have a thought, which is intrusive. It's a thought, right? Imagine that lorry steers off and hits me. But I move through that. Straight away, that's a thought, and on I go. Do you know what I mean? I saunter on till, geez, when am I going over there for the chemist for? And what I need to buy out of the chemist, because the chemist across the road from us at work. But that's a thought, isn't it? But I move on from
What
it.
do you be buying in the chemist?
No. No.
Finish.
Yeah, none of that. Not just going to share that. But I know we're close, Ciara. But yeah, so that's a thought, isn't it? And I move on through it. I go into the I go up to back into the office and I move on. But when you, especially at the early stages of motherhood, and you're exhausted and you're worn down, and you've this bundle of preciousness that is relying on you, and you're exhausted, and you have that thought, you end up freezing in that thought. As I say, you unpack in that thought, and you have a holiday in it, a nightmare of a holiday in it. You don't know how to unpack. And we think every day, we've thoughts all the time. And there's where this topic comes constantly to our door. Every time we speak to a mummy, when we build a relationship with a mum, she feels that she's able to share this. Now, intrusive thoughts is not, as sometimes people might have, people feel they hear voices in their head, or maybe that become psychotic. That's completely different, isn't it? That is different. This is a thought that you end up not wanting to share with someone, and it gets magnified. Like, you have a great expression that you would use, Gemma, quite a lot.
Yeah.
That you've heard, and it is actually.
I've had intrusive thoughts in the early days with Podrick, and they would have manifested through dreams. And then I would have been living that there over and over again. Is that going to happen? Am I going to do that? No. And it used to scare the bloody bejesus out of me. But I remember reading an article one day, and the reason why it scared me so much is because I, and under no circumstances, wanted to do any of them things.
No.
You know what I mean? Like throw the wee and out the window. That scares you so much because you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And if that didn't scare you, then that'd be a different story.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that, just reading that there calmed me down so much and made me understand.
Well, I did a wee bit of research before we came here today. And these harmful thoughts can pop into your mind totally unexpected and evoke pure horror.
Yeah.
Even though you would never deliberately hurt your baby. These feelings can cause intense guilt, shame, or horror, which means avoid talking about them.
Yeah.
I never told anybody that I stood at the top of the stairs like Una and thought, what if I fall down these stairs with this child? What if I just fall and I fall on top of this child and the child's squashed, but I'll be all right?
But you even think here, when you buy a brand new car, you think, as soon as I get into this car, you know, it's brand new to you, right? None of us can afford a brand new car, but you know, it's brand. You get into that car and think, just imagine I end up crashing this car on my way to work. Oh my God, there's somebody, am I going to crash this car? Am I going to damage this car when I park it? So there's common.
That's the thoughts. I suppose whenever it's different, whenever you have this baby in your arms and you are the sole protector of this child because they are your precious cargo.
And that's why it's hard to move on from
It's
them
hard,
thoughts.
but when it's about something, we have these in our lives, but when it's about our babies,
That's precious.
Yeah.
Precious
different.
cargo there.
You hold on to it, and as I say, you take a holiday in it.
Yeah.
You
Well,
unpack
I
in it.
suppose we always talk in support together about communication, but it's the shame that keeps us from sharing these thoughts with others. And if we share the thoughts with others, it takes the power away from them. Definitely does. So the very fact that you feel ashamed or horrified makes the thoughts, it's a strong sign that you actually don't want to hurt your baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Experience and research shows that that experience these unwanted thoughts makes you no more likely to deliberately hurt your baby than any other parent. So if there's another, going down to our 4 C's, if we're communicating, it's something we have to learn to do. It's something that in the midst of a baby and trying to get in feeding routine, and like, I know I couldn't look at him whenever my weans were bigger because the communication was gone. You're just focused on this wee infant. But if I had communicated and said to him, God, I felt like I was going to throw that wean down the stairs, he would turn around and says, oh, Jake, Wayne, wise up. Why would you be doing that? Sure, of course, you're not going to throw him down the stairs. And he would have brought me back to myself. And I am not going to throw him down the stairs. Sure, I love him all my life.
So the more you're thinking of that, what's that doing?
It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And every time I got to the top of the stairs, holding this child to walk down the stairs every morning, I thought, oh my God, I'm going to get to the bottom of the stairs without dropping him.
And that consumes all your day and your next day and your next day. And
That's feeding illness.
Yeah.
it wears you down. And it's a thought, and then that thought gets so much power.
Because you fixate on it.
Oh my word. And like, I've been there.
Yeah,
And we've
been
talked
there.
about it. We speak to mummies daily and daily about it. And often mummy might share a similar thing. So, God, I thought that I was going to leave the child in the top of the car,
Yeah.
in the car seat. That does happen, actually. You can't do that. But, imagine me thinking that. And we would turn around and we go, well, sure, here, I had a wee mummy in last week and she was thinking that too. And she go, seriously? You're not the only one. And like, evidence is proven. Like, there's you even saying there's 90% of mothers. Like, folks, this is something that's not talked about.
And
That's
because
why
we don't,
find it so important.
we have to speak about it. And
it.
I think, and I know for me and for my intrusive thoughts, whenever I spoke to Una, of course everything went back to Una because poor Una had to hear everything.
It was way back in the day.
Way back in the day.
back.
Way back whenever she was a young girl. I remember whenever I had spoke to you and you said to me, and did it hang about? Did you think about it again? I was like, it did for a long time. And once I spoke to you and we spoke about it, that thought gone.
Yeah, but I would have said, were you going to react on that? Were you going to do something? Were you going to throw the baby out the window?
No.
You go, fucking no. What? I wouldn't even dream of it. Okay.
But I could feel
No
my
action to that
you could
thought.
feel
You weren't-
I could feel my shoulders dropping and the pressure dropping because I had spoken out.
But that thought lost its power.
Yeah, take the
Exactly.
power away from
Yeah.
it.
And you move through it. So then when them wee thoughts came in, oh my word, imagine I slam the door on the child's fingers. Right? That thought would have went away then. I'm not going to slam it. Sure, Jesus, why would I be at that now? Come on. And there is helpful ways, isn't there, that you can, at the early stages, and it happened to me a lot at the early stages. And then it would have happened to me too with Podrick because I didn't have anybody to talk to.
If you think too, though, if you're maybe having sleep deprivation and you're not getting a full night's sleep, you're maybe not eating as well as you should be eating, you're running on empty, you're not filling your cup. Every wee thought then is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Exactly. And like we have had great training from a perinatal counsellor way back years ago, Liz.
Liz Wise.
Liz Wise, and you got meeting her as well. Ciara, and that's something Liz was coming to Liz's sessions all the time because she specialised in perinatal. She had postnatal depression herself, and that's what she wanted to specialise in. And that was the first person that we got really talking about that because that's way back years ago. So this is a topic we've brought up a long, long time ago. And Liz was great at explaining stuff, and she was coming from a lived experience as well. And she would say to me one time, she says, I remember my daughter, she said she was going into London and she was standing at the train station. And she thought, imagine I jump in or imagine somebody pushes me in front of the train. And she said, that's what the daughter thought of, and on it went. And she said, that was just a thought that she thought, but like me standing waiting across the road, geez, imagine that, Laura, I might go. And on it goes. And she said, she didn't freeze in that thought because, she was able to saunter through it. But when her daughter, now this isn't, her daughter didn't become a mummy, but when her daughter became mentally unwell down the line, she was at the train station one day and a train came and she said,
Imagine somebody pushed me in front of it, or I was going to I sat out in front of it.
And she froze and that. And normally we think, we thoughts, come in and out of her head, but because she was worn down, exhausted, this thought, she froze in that thought. But she was able to go back and talk about that thought to her mum, and she was able to compare, right? She compared the two different, and her and her mum had that really great relationship to talk very openly about their emotional well-being. But because we think these thoughts and we're a mummy, right? We think all the time in life, but then we freeze in it. We don't go and tell anybody about that.
No, because the shame.
Because we're a mummy and we think
It makes
we're
us
awful.
bad, yeah. Get out the big stick there and giving me, start beating me.
Yeah.
And that's yourself internally really upsetting self. But as you say, when you shared that, if you'd shared that with Eamon, Eamon would turn around and go, now, Ciara, would you? No, I would not. And you go, exactly. What do?
Move on. Move through it.
Move on through it.
And the next time you would have thought it, you'd be like, no, wise up. Come on now. Give yourself a wee shake there, Ciara.
You're taking control of the situation.
Yes.
Walk on down the stairs. It's fine. And that eventually did happen, I suppose, where I
You're running down them.
was running down the stairs, and it was grand. But I can remember many a day getting the dread of getting up and going to the top of the stairs, howling this infant and thinking to myself, how am I going to get to the bottom of the stairs without dropping him?
And it seems to be the stairs is the common one that we would get. And you're even saying your dreams, Gemma.
Yeah.
And then how then you held on to them.
I woke up. Jesus, did I just dream that? And then that would have
Yeah.
ruminated in my head
Yeah.
and got bigger and bigger and bigger.
And when you talk about them, they often bring a huge relief
Oh, massive.
because they start making sense.
Takes the power away. It's like I always say to the mum, I say to the mummies, and that's something I practice myself. If I'm in a spin and my head's going and I've 20 million things to do, I get a book and I have a book and an emptying out book and I empty my head. It takes the power away from what's going on in my head. Yes, I might do nothing with that page. The page could sit there, but because it's no longer in my head, taking control and spinning round, it's on a page. I can look at it and say, right, well, I can do that, and that doesn't need done, and that's fine. But the power's gone, and I've had decluttering. No, I don't even know if it's a decluttering, but you've got rid of it. It definitely takes the power away, and I'm communicating it out on paper. If you speak it out.
And we would even recommend to a mum if these thoughts are coming, is for her to say to herself or out loud or look in a mirror, this is just a thought. It is not real. It does not mean I'm a bad mum. And that's what even repeating that. This is just a thought. It is not real. It does not mean I'm a bad mum. That does help. At the beginning it mightn't, but when you start doing that, you're just saying it's just a thought.
It's not reality.
Yeah, you're calming you're calming your brain, but you're giving yourself, I don't know what the word, but you're
trying to regulate.
Yeah, regulate yourself. That's the word,
And
Gemma.
ground back to grounding.
Yes.
And even that the reason these thoughts are coming and they're fearful to me is because I want to be keeping my baby safe. So we always say that us ladies have nearly the policies and procedures, protocols and health and safety checks all done whilst we're pregnant. And then we're constantly thinking in our forefront of our brain about the safety.
A thought comes along, throws a firework into the mix, and you're, Jesus Christ. What is going on?
Oh yeah, definitely. And it does become, it's very overwhelming.
Yeah.
I would be an overthinker, believe it or not. Would you know that about me? Would you know? I have a way on down the road, but my overthinking got a hell of a lot worse whenever my children came into the world, because I was always thinking, oh, but what if this happens? But what if this happens? But what if this happens? And you're always thinking, right, but if this happens, you can do this, and this happens, do that. But that never happened, not in a million years. On Cloud Cuckoo Land, it wouldn't happen. But as a mama, you can't help that. And if you're already at maybe that type of person where you're thinking, and it's going to be bigger. Yeah. So it's, I suppose, how do we help our mummies?
If you're frozen on that, speaking about it, even speaking to your GP, even looking at counselling, if it's something that you're, or speaking to a friend, or speaking to your husband or partner, often when you speak to another mummy will turn around and go, oh, Jesus Christ, I used to have them all the time. And that's a mummy maybe has got teenagers now, and I have fearful thoughts about my teenagers. Imagine they get into a car and something happens, and and they haven't contacted me yet, they haven't texted me, are they all right? But I allow that to move through. Yeah. They're going to contact me, they're going to text me when they're able to.
This is Fill Your Cuppa, the Support Together podcast, and we couldn't bring our podcast to you today without the support of Moody Activewear. Moody Activewear creates high quality, functional activewear that you feel good doing the things you love. They don't just support your ass, they support your head as well. as they provide and donate 100% of their profits to support women's mental health, such as Support Together. Visit moodyactivewear.co.uk. I used to always think if I heard an ambulance, oh shit, where's Eamon?
That's right. Yeah.
Where is he?
Yeah.
Or you can't get in contact with them for a wee while.
Yeah, do you know that there's
Jeez,
that?
my mind just go.
There's that. There's a wee thing I'd heard. I seen on Facebook, and it's so true to my house, and it's I suppose especially for my brother, and it's like I have 2 missed calls or 3 missed calls on my phone from my mum, and I'm guessing that helicopter that's now circling the house, she sent it down to see if I'm here, if I'm still living. And that is it, because as a mum, that's what you do. I've rang 3 or 4 times and I haven't had an answer. So what's the next thing you do? You send out your helicopter to make sure that...
Oh, you go from A to Z.
A to Z. It might
They're
just
all
be,
right
it could be in the bath, it could be in the shower, it could be outside feeding the hens. But no, my mind's jumped till he's in a hole somewhere and something's happened to him.
Yeah. So there, what we're saying is thoughts happen.
Yeah.
But when you become a new parent or parent, I always say it's the first time you're a new parent with baby 1. You're also, when you have baby 2, it's the first time you've had 2 kids.
Yeah.
Baby 3, it's all a new experience. And often, definitely the first we tend to, it affects us really bad because we think we're awful.
Mm-hmm.
And we're far from
Terrible.
it. We're far from it.
We are far from it, Gemma is right. And I see so many mummies come in with their shoulders down and walk out much taller. And that's why we say stand tall, shine bright. And just sharing that little, back to the pinhole of, you've always talk about Gemma.
I love this pinhole.
She does, and you're right. And that is the pinhole of hope. And that, by having these conversations, and you did say, Ciara, at the start that this could be a stressor. And I hope somebody has sat through this conversation that we are having, an honest conversation. Now, we're talking about intrusive thought. We're not talking about psychosis or voices in your head, different things. This is intrusive thoughts. This is wee things.
Hoping it brings hope.
Oh, big time.
To your mummy.
Definitely, because
And take
it'll
away
be
that
there.
shame.
It's like, oh my God, you too. Not just me, because if we go back to it, I always thought I was the only person in the world that ever had postnatal depression. The only person in the world.
I remember getting my period and I thought I was the only person in the world with the period.
Like, we're all the same with that.
That's how joke, seriously, like, the menopause, that's something that's down. I'm going to meet the menopause before you used to, wonderful ladies. But people
When you're
thought
in it,
they were
you're
the only
consumed
one.
by it.
Aye.
Exactly. When you talk and discuss something, and I think has been a safe environment often too, when we share something, we share with care.
Yeah.
Don't we? And you'd like to feel that you're going away with that, often with a solution.
A problem shared is a problem halved.
Because when you're going in with that problem state of mind and it really becomes so consuming that you've stopped engaging and communicating with anyone. And we talked the other day, who do we end up communicating with? Ourselves. And the wee head isn't in a great place because it's completely exhausted. So how I'm answering? I'm going to answer.
Like bad critic.
Yeah.
Oh my word. And us mummies are amazing at that. We are so hard on ourselves. Let's start being more gentle.
I suppose when we had said it's good, like, if you're a mummy out there and you've had these thoughts, you can speak to your GP, you can speak to your health visitor, you can speak to a friend, you can speak to your husband, you speak to a partner. If you're a member of Support Together, you can speak to us ladies. I would be very aware that when we say speak to a friend, speak to somebody who you know, because you might not get, if you speak to the wrong person, you get the wrong response.
Even we talked at it last week and the week before, Lifeline, Samaritans.
Yes.
Do you know, lifting it up and just saying, and they're qualified to ask that wee bit more. Or I was talking about a counsellor. You're right, Ciara, sometimes that sharing, we could share with somebody who maybe isn't a mummy and who maybe has no understanding.
And could turn around and say, oh my God, you want to do something to your...
Yeah, I get
Make it far worse.
And that's a very, very good point. So there is a lot of platforms, a lot of people out there that you can discuss.
I think we'll share the Lifeline number along with this podcast, just in case. And at least then we have it. If there is anybody out there that wants to reach out.
And the Samaritans.
Yeah, the Samaritans.
Like that's another amazing platform, and we're actually going to be availing of Samaritan training, and it's something that is really invaluable. So if it's somebody you feel you can't speak to, and we might, people wherever they're listening to this mightn't have support together on their doorstep, they can ring Lifeline, Samaritans, speak to their doctor, speak to their health visitor, reach out. Don't reach in. Don't allow yourself, as we talk about the big stick of mama guilt.
Don't keep the stick away.
No, don't let it near you. Yeah, because it's not going to serve you well. All it's going to do is feed the anxiety, and we call it
stir the pot.
Yeah. And often people talk about naming the intrusive thoughts.
Give the bitch a name.
Give it a name.
Well, we call it a bitch.
It.
We
have our own illustration. It, of course.
What did the lady say yesterday? The bitch is beautiful. The bitch is beautiful. No, the bitch is bad, but fuck, she's beautiful.
Yeah, and that's why we purposely made. This is the character in case a lot of people out there won't know.
Why our character for our PND.
And that's the illustration that's being created for people to visually see the illness. And I suppose our message with it is normally that you're not.
Understand it's normal. You're not alone.
Illness. I'm still Una. I lived with postnatal depression, but I'm not postnatal. So yeah, we use that character a lot for stuff. We blame her for a lot.
Yeah,
definitely. It's not about postnatal is not about it for us now.
No.
But often we would use it even if we're feeling anxious.
yeah.
That's what I
Still valid. It's just a different stage.
Different stage.
Well, we had spoke there a wee minute ago and had said about it's not serving you well. Yeah. Tell me what is serving you well at the minute. How are you filling your cuppa? How are you keeping that cup of tea filled up?
Back to, and we always go back, but that's what works. As you keep saying, Gemma, you keep doing what's worked for you, what keeps you well.
Yeah, what keeps me?
And that's back to me allowing downtime. I think I've said it before, way back in a podcast. I would love to do sort of get a hobby, and that's something I'm trying now to work more on. I'm allowing the dark nights to cocoon myself. I'm loving my blankets, putting my candle on, putting the fire on, and just sometimes having nana naps, as we call them, gem naps. Gemma loves a wee nap.
Queen of naps. Always have been my whole life.
Yeah, and that actually, you even freely saying that. So now I go home now and close the wee eyes.
And they're all allowed half an hour nap every day.
10 minutes
Nap every day. I wouldn't sleep at night.
No, 10
Oh no,
minutes.
I sleep at night.
No, 10
But this is the season just to cocoon yourself. Allow yourself to be, because you can get so annoyed. It's dark.
Yeah.
So the minute that's what I'm doing.
Good
What
woman.
about yourself, Ciara?
I suppose I'm enjoying the last of the dark evenings and taking time to myself. And I'd said it before, but I'm really enjoying the laughter and the fun that we have.
Well, we'll tell you about the fun that these two critters had one day. We were in a cafe in Oma. We were getting our lunch to take up to the office. The two biddies headed on out. I was standing at the till and I heard nothing but a scream. And I mean, everybody in the restaurant turned round. They were like, what? I swore somebody was being attacked. And then straight away, when I heard the scream, I ended up going, oh, it's just Gemma. I bet you Ciara has hidden behind the door and scared her.
And scared the Jesus out of me. I scared half the bloody Oma.
I know. Half of the sandwich company in Oma was leapt out of their seats.
So there is fun, but sometimes these gears take
a wee
the
bit
fun
too far.
So I had to go up the stairs. I was laughing the whole way up. And then when I went in through the door, I had to put on serious down and I go, girls, seriously.
That
was ridiculous.
Whenever you came into the door, what was I doing? Hiding behind the sofa trying to jump out and you.
And I says, what do you jump out? I'll throw something at you. So we do definitely have fun. But there is a thing about you can take the fun too far.
But she's too easy scared.
Aye, but she's waiting on to scare you.
I know.
Ciara.
I know. I'm waiting.
Good job you were on your lunch break.
I know. I'm waiting for it to come back.
That was about it. It was funny now, straight away, but I fell for the people within. Yeah.
I don't know how she
did
didn't see
apologise
me.
to them.
I was wearing a bright pink hoodie.
Could have been a
And
stressor.
I wasn't expecting you.
I'm not wee. I couldn't get hid that while well. You literally opened the door and I went, boo. Well, she leapt.
I know.
It was way crack.
So fun. You're
I'm really embracing the fun. I'm embracing the laughter. I think it's because we do have heavy days in work. We do have sad days. We do have sad moments with our mummies and our members. And I think then when you get a good moment, when you get a good laugh, whenever we go to our get-togethers and we see the children enjoying themselves and the mummies having a conversation or somebody coming on and moving through, it's brilliant to see. And I'm really taking them in. I'm soaking them in.
That's so important, Ciara, because we can go from Monday to Tuesday to Friday and not even allow ourselves to embrace some of the magic that happens. And that's a very good point, allowing yourself to see the fun, but to actually see the achievements that is coming out of
some of the achievements that we have seen over the last while and in our members, within our wee members, within our wee children. And some of the stuff that they have went through.
our little sunflowers.
Yes, I've stood and I've cried thinking, oh my God. And then I'm sitting thinking, do I see that air? Do you see it? Do you, like, Mummy, do you see how far he's come? Do you see? And this is amazing. And it was a big plus for us. It's a big plus for the mummies. And it's a real boost. So I am really I'm soaking that in. I'm taking every bit that I can get. Gemma,
loose pimples.
I know. Gemma, how are you keeping your wee cuppa filled up now? You're going to have to go out the night and fill a bucket and bury that wee tree. But how do you keep your cuppa filled?
Do you know what? I'm missing my mama there.
Oh,
So I've made plans this week. I've put an action in place. I'm going up to see my mummy and my sister, and we're going out for lunch and take a Patrick. We're having a wee overnight stay, maybe 2 nights. You never know.
Could be 3.
It
Could be ringing me
no,
on
I'll have
Monday.
to go back to work now. That'll lead into Monday. So it'll only be a maximum of 2. But even having that wee plan, I know I've that to look forward to. And I know whenever I'm missing mummy, I guess a couple of weeks, 3-4 weeks, and I need a wee trip down.
aye.
My mummy lives about an hour away, so it's not just as handy as it's a full day.
Aye.
To get the good out of it.
I suppose, well, with the weather and you've been on well over Christmas, it hasn't been good.
So I am looking forward to that, and I've been, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think, but planning in my head that coming up, and that's filling my jug.
Yeah, but I even heard you today. When we were chatting before, you were busy with some appointments. You were talking about you and Padraig and having fun.
I got this
games.
wee square. It's like some Chinese cube or something, right? Seen on social media. Well, me and Padraig last night must have spent about an hour running around the house trying to chase each other to see who could get this cube and play with it. You bring it out. And then you try and get it back in. Well, the mightiest crack last night with it.
And her, she was chatting about that, and like even the joy in her face, and then I got joy out of. And what were you at? And what were you doing? And having that little bit of fun with your son.
And that was after my nap.
So
I got a wee bit of energy. So I was able to run around the house.
Padraig doesn't mind you having the wee gem nap because he knows he's going to get a bit of.
Aye, well, no, I allow him to have a wee bit of downtime after school because they need that too.
Oh,
no
very
point to
important.
go.
No, it doesn't.
And then we
good for anyone.
connect then after.
Brilliant. Deadly.
Yeah.
That's not coffee I smell.
No. I'm going through my book here and I'm seeing
Cheese.
I'm going to see what kind of jokes is it.
I have to say some of the jokes last week were good.
I'm trying to make sure some of these jokes are like they're all right to tell. They're all right to see.
Oh, I think so now.
Okay, I installed a skylight in my apartment. The people who live above me are furious.
What have you been doing, Ciara?
No, I'm just looking at them. Did you not hear the joke about me and IKEA?
No.
Did you not?
That was so funny.
The doctor told me that jogging could add years to my life. He was right. I feel 10 years older already.
That's why I don't jog.
I used to be addicted.
Never mind the black eyes.
These mountains. I used to be addicted to soap. These aren't even. I used to be addicted to soap.
Were you?
I'm clean now. How long now? Oh, how long? Keep it going here.
One more.
Teacher, did your father help with your homework last night? Help you with your homework last night? Pupil, no, miss. He did all of it.
Very good.
Oh, we need something more funny now, girls.
Come on.
Race car backwards is still race car. Race car upside down is expensive.
No, Ciara, that's there. No.
No.
Should have ended in mine.
The ones
About
last
the
week were
running.
better.
Should have ended in mine. Anyway, let's go.
One more. A clean house is a sign of a broken computer.
That's true.
That was a good one.
Or phone.
Our phone.
Okay, that's us, ladies. We'll go a bit further and we'll see you all next week. Oh,
Thank
Gemma?
you.
Lifeline number.
Oh, we will share the lifeline number at our wee blog at the bottom of it, Gemma.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Oh, yeah, we're actually to tell people we're on YouTube, but there's no.
Oh, yes. We've got a YouTube channel.
Yeah, and we're working towards getting ourselves
Getting ourselves videoed now. There's a camera in front of me at the minute, and I'm hoping to God it's not recording because it'll see every lump and bump and spare tire that there is.
Double chin.
There's not not a scrap of makeup on me or nothing. But anyway, yes, we've got a YouTube channel, so if you want to check us out and see us and give us a wee thumbs up or
Share
what is it,
or
like and
like.
subscribe? Is that what the children are on about? Share the love and all them YouTubers. We're YouTubers now, are we? Are we YouTubers?
Well, we haven't physically seen us yet. It's still that cartoon of us.
But the cartoon, it's,
Do you know whether you could do
Their
any better
voice.
than that, you know?
No, I'd like it to
It'd have to be an animated series.
yeah.
No, right, no. All right, anyway, thanks for listening.
Over and out.
Bye.
This is Fill Your Cuppa, the Support Together podcast. Brought to you by me, I'm the host, Mrs. O, Ciara O'Gowan, and my co-hosts Una Leonard and Gemma Cassidy. Today we are supported by Moody Activewear and produced by 9874 Creative.